Greetings, traveler! They call me Needman, and today we're gonna have a closer look up to a Necromancer Wraithlord one-man army build discovered by myself. I never read any guide about it, I never saw anything about it on the stream or elsewhere, max roll, etc. I discovered by myself playing Archmage Roid Mage build as a starter. I found one interesting unique that's crucial to play this build, and you're gonna watch some showcases right now. Accidentally, I've lost my Shade of Orbis snapshot, but I saw that while I'm doing the montage of this, so I'm sorry, but I hope you understand why it's not that important. So here we go. So you have seen this build in action right now. You saw the 200 and something corruption monolith. You saw Formosus Lich kill. You saw Julra T3 at the moment. And this is not obviously this is not an end version of the build. I'm gonna improve it more and more. I've got literally zero good legendary items. They're trash, like simply like from the ground. So right now we are at 1600 life, 3900 ward, 45 intelligence, 275 ward retention, some uncapped resistances, 45% critical strike avoidance. This is shit. We're gonna fix this, obviously. So what this helmet does, this is a Wraithlord's Harbor, a unique acolyte helmet which makes this build playable, obviously. So this helmet is converting your little wraiths into a one Wraithlord. See there? Right. Then the Wraithlord is summoning little wraiths instead of you, being another one minion that actions by itself. The Wraithlord is getting all the benefits from the summon wraith skill tree, so everything you're picking up in the summon wraith skill tree is gonna work for him as well. And the interesting part of this is this last affix that says while at max rates, the Wraithlord casts necrotic beams and regularly consumes all your non-wraith minions to empower itself, getting some flat damage and maximum life. So at the first we're gonna have a closer look up to our skill trees, and the first one is Summon Wraith. Obviously this is our main skill, and this tree is not perfect. This is getting like shuffled by me every day, but the crucial points you're gonna take here, you must take them here, otherwise this is just for nothing. You're taking the twin spirits, so your wraiths no longer decays, and you are limited to only 2 wraiths. This means the Wraithlord stops non-stop summoning wraiths because they're dying, they're very squishy, and they're pretty much useless for me. In my point of view, like I tried this build. He's constantly summoning them and doing nothing else, so this doesn't really matter. We are limited to 2 wraiths, so we're taking the sequel of Avarice, which makes them deal more damage, and the Wraithlord itself dealing more damage and having more health to leave more. We're taking some flat necrotic points, necrotic health leech, but it doesn't really matter. We're taking this for a necrotic damage % increase. We're taking global crit chance, but we're not really care about it. We're gonna see later why. And we're taking this crit multi because 90 crit multi is 90 crit multi. This is huge. So we're taking the first one buff. This is constant buff. This one has no uptime, like basically like an infinite uptime. So Infernal Shade makes your buffed minion have some attack speed, haste, and applying slow. So we're taking Devouring Flames, so your Infernal Shades can attach to your minions, but damaging them. But our Wraithlord has so much health, and we're not scaling spell damage, so he's not really taking any damage from it. We're taking maximum damage gain for sure. We're taking unlimited duration on minions and increasing movement speed, attack speed, and cast speed per second of Infernal Shade duration. So area is not important. We're taking more damage for no reason because any other points here is just useless, so we need to spend them somewhere. Maybe I will have some rescuing mission on a more cool skill tree for Infernal Shade, but right now it looks like this, and I'm using it like this. The next buff, which is actually more important than Infernal Shade because it's giving us the immortality buff for our Wraithlord. The immortality buff is this thing. This is the egoism. This one says that your minions always crits. This is buff for minions. So your minion always crits, but this buff goes on cooldown. The bad point is that you are gonna miss this buff because this buff works only for one of your minions, but not AoE. uh, as it is by default. So All For One says that the buffed minion gets more damage, but it has no aura buffs anymore. But we don't really care because we're gonna buff only Wraithlord. Our little wraiths are worthless, so you're gonna miss this a lot, and it's not cool when you miss this when fighting a boss or fighting your boss. Except at monoliths, it's not really a problem. So we're taking egoism for sure. We're taking Lone Watcher, some damage, and health decay. Health decay we have no care because we're no longer decaying health. Some attack speed and cast speed. We don't need them chance because Wraithlord is not attacking that much. He's dealing huge crits, but not that much. That works if you have like an army which can stack very big numbers of damned. And increased buff effect per missing health. This either working or not, because our Wraithlord is almost every time has full health. The transplant is our mobility and utility skill, which gives us almost nothing. We have some cast speed and cooldown recovery speed here, and bone armor for some defense here. Anything else is really not that important. That grants you some haste for utility. This one grants your minion some flat damage, and that's it. The health cost you don't really care because you're always low life. We're gonna talk about it later. And that's it. Like, this is transplant. Last but not least is our summon volatile zombie. I'm gonna stay here a bit longer because this is the mechanic no one talking about. I don't know why. The point of using a volatile zombie is not really for damage from a volatile zombies. The reason is that your Wraithlord is consuming your minions to boost up his flat damage by a lot. No, I mean a lot of damage. So your regular crits are gonna be like 30 to 60k, but when you buff him with my strat, which I will show a bit later, his crits can go like 600,000 damage to a boss. Dude, these numbers makes me sick. So what should you do to make this work? You don't need really summoning speed and mana efficiency because you're gonna cast them like once in a while, only once, because you don't need it more. So you're taking this only because we are going here to Dreadful Horde, so we cast more zombies once upon a time rather than casting them subsequently. And we're taking Vile Force, which is summons corpse parasites and zombies death. Zombies death is Wraithlord's consuming considers a death, so he's consuming firstly the volatile zombie and then he consumes parasites. So you are summoning, like per click you're summoning 5 zombies, and 5 zombies become another 10 parasites. So it's like 150 flat damage for your Wraithlord by one button. And you take like this Shepherd of Thralls, so they summon more skeleton warriors than death. This is like exactly 1 for 1, just like 50 more flat damage for your Wraithlord. This, I don't know why I picked this up. This is a poison tree. This is like nothing. This is a giant zombie. We don't need that. We need to spend some points here. By the way, it's the point is like Infernal Shade and Transplant. You just need to spend some points. I don't know if we can do that with adding more power to our build right now, but I'm experimenting with that. So we have some chance to spawn volatile zombie on your minion death. Your little wraith are gonna die a lot, so it's not really a problem. And when your zombies die, they give you some health here by default, and we're converting that to ward because we are a ward low life build. And that's it for the skills. Now I'm gonna show you the mechanic how the zombies work. To make this work well, you need of course you need the volatile zombie, and you need an experimental belt with a 3 volatile zombies summon and potion use experimental mod. So when you go on a boss fight, you should remember that the buff Wraithlord has from consuming minions is 10 seconds per minion, so it's not refreshing. So you need to spawn all of your minions because he's consuming everything at the moment which is on the ground, but you need to have the most number of minions on the ground right now. So you need to spam your buttons fast. When you're going to the boss fight, you firstly you should spawn the Wraithlord, buff him with Dread Shade, then buff him with Infernal Shade. So he's buffed. He's ticking, don't really matter. The one or two hits and he's gonna be full. Then you're gonna spawn your volatile zombies. He's consuming them. Then you spend your health potions to create this huge number of explosions. So now your Wraithlord is busted. Have some fun. His AI is pretty broken. He can sometimes just, when you're farming, he can just run around and like laughing at you and not attacking any enemies. This shit is busted. You can fix that by having an experimental boots which says that your minions are teleporting to you when you use a traversal skill. Your traversal skill is a transplant. So, and I'm not sure if you can infuse a unique item with this mod, because I have not found any exalted boots with that mod at the moment. When I find any, and I'll try that, I'll say it to you. Items that I have right now are scuffed, by the way. I have let me show you real quick. I have a Wraithlord's Harbor, which is a crucial item for this build. I have a Death Rattle. Death Rattle is a source of crit multi for our Wraithlord. Crit multi and intelligence are your best friends. I have some minion damage and minion health, some resistances, offhand catalyst. I have very scuffed like Scythe, which only gives me some minion necrotic damage in percent increase. I failed to craft it, but it still works for me. It's from level 66, as you can see. Right now I'm level 94, and I haven't found any better, to be honest, to craft, to just like switch it to. By the way, you can switch Death Rattle with some Turquoise Amulet base, which gives you more minion damage, if you can craft that well, if you can find a good exalted base. Same for rings. You're almost always you want to use a Turquoise ring base, because it gives you minion health damage and crit multi. With a good crafts for you, these rings are busted, as you can see. This is one from level 31, this is from like act 4 or 5. I don't really remember, but the implicits are good. I don't really care about the affixes right now. The implicits are better for me. And to be honest, I haven't found any any good exalted bases to craft, so maybe just using that. Experimental Belt of Sparks, which gives me some resistances, and gives me the Volatile Zombie Summoned on Potion Use mod, which is you know, useful for us. We're using Decaying Homunculus of Deflection, which gives us minion necrotic damage, minion health. Frailty on hit doesn't work for us. It gives us physical res. Almost I have it because of minion health, because you know, like base Wraithlord's health with all the buffs from the skill tree, etc. It's so low. He's suffering from the one shots of some bosses casts, so you really need that minion health here, so he can live a bit longer. The gloves. That being said, last but not least, is our defense setup. Our main defense setup, besides the resistances and some crit avoidance, is our low health setup. You can acquire that by using just these two items, but this one, if you have some kind of good base and good crafts, you can use that too, so you can have more sustain of ward. So these gloves is just, they are, as you can see, they require level 39, so I'm wearing them for a long time right now. They have just some good resistances and the mod that we need. The mod is says that 6% of current health lost per second and 6% of missing health gained as ward per second. Combining this with Last Steps of the Living, which has like 13 to 15% of current health lost in second regained as ward. Freeze rate multiplier, you don't need this. You can have that to buff your Archmage setup, which is using Frostcaster Archmage Skeletal Mage, but we don't need that. You're chilled every 3 seconds, you don't give a shit about it because you have so much movement speed from these boots and you're almost always teleporting. You can switch them to an experimental boots with a convocation like mod from PoE, which is teleporting your minions to you. This is, by the way, the only one besides the resummoning of your Wraithlord. This is the only way to restart a broken AI of this motherfucker. Which resets him to a base state, so he returns to attack, but when you resummon him, he loses all his buffs. When you teleport him with you, it's okay. Last Steps of the Living, and the last one is Exsanguinous. You can use Exsanguinous or another body armor for dodging, but Exsanguinous has just like more numbers of this mod, which is you're getting more ward. As you can see, we have like 1600 health right now, and we are at 3900 ward point. This is cool. This is almost enough to live like the most base one-shot type casts of mobs and bosses, maybe sometime, but some huge hits you can tank even if you have like extra defenses like at the skies. For idols, it's pretty much simple. You want to have some large acolyte idols for increased health and health combined mod. I haven't found so much of them, so I'm using like stout idols for health increase and capping some res where I can do that right now, so I'm not farmed enough of them. As for the mastery passive skill tree, in acolyte you should take Forbidden Knowledge for some intelligence and necrotic resistance, 1 point here in Mania of Mortality to access to unnatural preservation, which gives you more necrotic resistance and some poison resistance and some ward retention. This is cool because you need ward retention. You take Dark Rituals, of course, because you need minion attack and cast speed. You take 1 point in Stolen Vitality because you need 20 points to access your Necromancer Mastery and to have Infernal Shade, of course. Next up, we're going to Warlock Mastery, where you can have some like flat health or some necrotic damage here. And like some intelligence here if you have unspent points when you don't know where to spend them. And the Necromancer tree, we're gonna take increased minion health and armor, damage reflected, obviously we don't care about it, some health and hunger duration here, ward retention here, armor shred chance. We can respect that later because we have not that much minions, as I said earlier. Some on-hit effects like stacking some things like poison, damned, or armor shred. We don't really care about them because we're not attacking that fast. So we're taking some percent necrotic damage here. We can respect this into those. I should think about it later. We're taking attack and cast speed, some crit chance, health leech, and freeze rate multiplier right here to access the heresy for intelligence and crit chance. Here we go for the crit multi, for some necrotic and elemental resistances for ourselves, and some percent increased minion necrotic damage. This one we don't really need this, we need to access the next point. And we take Tyrant for our sustain as well. And I decided to try Veins of Malice because it gives us, not us, but our Wraithlord, some haste and frenzy almost for free. So this was the Master passive skill trees. This is my imagination. I've not saw some kind of trees, the pre-made trees, or some kind of YouTuber trees. I made that myself and it's not perfect, I know. I'm gonna work on this, of course, and I'm gonna post the actual tree in a link down below in the description, link to lastepochtools.com, where you can see the live, the live state of this build. So we're gonna stop here right now. This is the base version of the build. Actually, I have a lot of work to do on this build because I have not so much time to play the game. I'm working hard, but I have a lot of work to do. You see everything, but even at this state I can clear and take all the content in the game with like no problem at all. The only problems are AI stupidity, the minion AI stupidity, or just my hands being too or my brain being too stupid to press some buttons when you need to, for example like blink out or switch dimensions in a temporal sanctum when fighting Julra. That's it. Again, I'm gonna post the Last Epoch Tools link for this build just below down in the description. Please leave a like and a comment if you like this video. I'm gonna do some kind of this video later on with upgrades of this build. So keep it up, traveler, and see you next time.